Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome here to the match review of Barcelona against Celta Vigo in the league, which was the early kick-off this afternoon in Spain, and it has finished Barcelona 2, Celta Vigo 2. Once again, for the second time running in the league, we have dropped points, and our lead at the top of the league could be cut if Valencia, Atletico, and of course Real Madrid, if they pick up points this weekend, our league will once again be cut. And it's so disappointing because we've gone from having such a fantastic lead, such a strong position we were going into the Clásico with, a good mindset, a good confidence, and suddenly in the space of a few games we really do look worse for wear. And before I even start talking about the game, talking about the selection, what I want to say is today we didn't play that badly. We missed a lot of chances. There was once again very questionable refereeing decisions which could have been the difference, but I just think this has been coming now for a few weeks. We didn't play badly today. It's not been our worst performance of the season, but I just think defensively, I think Ter Stegen so far this season has saved us many times, and that has papered over the cracks. Defensively this season, we've not been as great as the stats suggest, and I think as well, in the team selection, it's been too repetitive. You cannot keep starting the same players over and over again when they're not performing. You've got to spice things up a bit. You've got to keep the competition for places going, and I just don't think that's happening right now. I think we've got our own set lineup. Valverde has got the players that he trusts in, and then you've got the rest. The players that come off the bench are not having an impact because they don't feel valued, they don't feel trusted, they don't start the games, and when we're bringing players on right now, it's not having an impact, and we are seriously struggling right now in the league. And the stats can talk for themselves. We've had 4 draws in our last 7 games in all competitions. 4 draws out of 7. That is a lot of draws. And in the league, in our last 3 games, true draws against Valencia last weekend and now against Celta Vigo. And I have to say today, Celta came at the end of the game. They were time wasting. They were doing all the sorts of nonsense that teams do when they're getting in, but so they should, because to be honest, for the entire game they worked so hard, and Zoué came back to the camp now. He clearly knows our style. They tried to play the right way. They didn't park the bus. Celta did not do that right up until the sort of 80th minute. They were trying to win the game, and if it hadn't been for a Ter Stegen save in the last sort of 10 minutes, we could well have lost that game today. They were electric on the counter-attack. Every single counter they had, we looked like we were going to get torn to shreds. We really struggled defensively. We missed so many clear chances. Even own goals today, we could not finish, and it's our own doing. We should have won today's game. We played well when we were going forward. We put together some excellent passing moves. The second goal was magnificent, the Suárez goal, but apart from that, the chances that we missed today were unacceptable. The refereeing decisions once again were awful, but this is Spain. This happens. We're Barcelona. That's what we come up against. What we should be doing is making sure that we're not in that position. We should be putting ourselves clear, not having to go through referees, not having to rely on referees, because you know they're not going to make the right decisions. You know that. So we need to finish our chances and take the decision away from their hands. But I think right from the very start today, I actually go into this game, if you did follow me on Twitter, you would have seen the sort of meltdown that was going on. I was very disappointed with Ernesto Valverde's team selection. First of all, yesterday, we know that he dropped Nelson Semedo, and I think in hindsight, and even yesterday in the preview video I mentioned it, I don't really understand that, simply because you look at Sisto today, the way that he played for Celta, the way they were so incredible on the counter-attack. Now, I don't think Sergio Roberto had a major problem today at right back, but I think if you play Semedo, he matches Sisto for pace. You saw it in the Champions League when Semedo was up against Douglas Costa. He did not get a kick because Semedo for pace matched him every single time, and I think Sisto was such a threat today for Celta, particularly on that break. We could have really done with Nelson Semedo's pace. Now, people will say, you know, he played against Murcia, so he's been rested in this game. Well, why did he play against Murcia? You want to rest him for the biggest game. This is a massive game. This is a big league game. Semedo, for me, should be playing. It affects our defence when he's not there. He's a very athletic player. He contributes going forward as well. He wasn't brilliant against Valencia, but so were a lot of the players, and they still started today, so I don't really understand why Semedo is being singled out. Then you've got Gerard Piqué, who I thought had a very bad game today. Samuel Umtiti, who wasn't great either. They both tried to step up for the first goal. It didn't work whatsoever. Samuel Umtiti as well, even more worryingly, came off with an injury. How serious that is. It looked like a hamstring injury. He could be out for a few weeks, and potentially he could now miss the Clásico, which is massive news and horrible news for us. And I think every time Alba went forward on that left-hand side, he was phenomenal going forward again today, but every single time that he went forward, Aspas and Gomez and Sisto, they really did exploit that space. Umtiti had to move over, there was gaps in between, and Celta, like I say, on the break, were absolutely dominating us, and they were slicing us apart every single break they had. So defensively today, we were all over the place. In midfield, I think Rakitic was actually a bit more improved. Paulinho had a few chances, but of course, it's that one moment, that one big moment when we could have gone and given ourselves a bit of breathing space. Paulinho makes a brilliant run, he gets into the box, it's an open goal, and he can't convert it. And that was a massive, massive moment in the game, because then Celta Vigo came back into it, they got their goal, and we really, really struggled. And there was one later on as well, it could have been the winning goal, same sort of situation. Gerard Piqué in on goal, round the goalkeeper, and once again, it's an open goal, and we can't convert our chances. Denis Suárez came off the bench, he did a little bit of things when he was on the ball, it was a moment out wide, he crossed it in. Lionel Messi, phenomenal header, and it's an unbelievable save from the goalkeeper Ruben. A ball in from the right, Messi heads it, and how he gets his hand to it, I have no idea. But of course, the big talking point once again, in the first half, Luis Suárez, is he onside, is he offside? He's onside. He's played in by Messi, he times his run very, very well, which for Suárez is not really a routine anymore, but he times his run well this time. He's played onside by the left back, and it should have been a goal. He finishes it very, very well. The linesman flags it offside. It is not offside. There was a big moment as well, obviously. Denis Suárez, he was on the edge of the box. Again, we were looking for that winning goal. It was cut back to him. He had a strike. It was deflected. Then into the path of Lionel Messi, who just headed it wide. And there were so many moments like that where we're getting into the box. There was a moment in the first half. Rakitic puts in a phenomenal cross into the box. Once again, Paulinho finds himself in a good position, but he should be scoring from there. It's a header, point-blank range, and straight at the goalkeeper. And once again, it's those kind of chances which win you games. It's those kind of chances that at the end of the game, this is what's going to cost us. And Celta Vigo today, they were clinical when they were through on goal. Ter Stegen couldn't save us. Our defence was in shreds. I think the lineup from Valverde was predictable. We keep playing Rakitic, we keep playing Paulinho, we keep playing the same players over and over again. Luis Suárez, obviously he got on the score sheet. And like I say today, I don't think any of those players were bad. I think they were improved. But I think the problem is if you keep doing that, if you keep playing the same guys over and over again, regardless of performance, those players that come off the bench, Denis Suárez comes off the bench, Paco Alcácer comes off the bench, they come off the bench and they don't have any belief in themselves, they don't have any confidence, they don't have any game time because they've not been given a chance. And if you alienate your substitutes, and if you alienate the rest of the squad in the latter stage of the season, when we need to rotate, when we need to really use our squad because of the amount of games, we're going to be in real trouble. And I just think today it's so disappointing that we've had our lead cut once again. Obviously Atletico Madrid play Real Sociedad, that's going to be a really important game. Valencia play tomorrow against Getafe, and Real Madrid travel to Athletic Club later on today, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they get on, because obviously in the position we're at now, we've had a lot of draws, and now we're suddenly starting to look to other people and sort of looking for favours. That's not how it should be at Barcelona. We should have taken care of business today. I didn't like the way that we started the game. I thought we were very flat. Celta Vigo actually dominated the ball for the opening period of the game. We couldn't really get our foot on it, and once again, when Iniesta went off, we lost that element of control, we lost that element of calmness in midfield, and it's really difficult to see how we can bounce back from this straight away and looking ahead to that Clásico. What are we going to do in that game? We wanted to go into that game with a nice lead in the league. We wanted to go into that game without a lot of pressure, but right now, thanks to our lack of finishing, our lack of being clinical in front of goal, some bad decisions, possibly some mistakes from Valverde, and today it's so disappointing as well, because you look at the poor performance of Messi, and he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant today. Every time he got on the ball, he was impressive. Going forward, obviously he got his goal. He was a massive hand as well in the second goal. A really nice goal that was. Messi to Jordi Alba, cuts it back to Suárez. Brilliant goal. And it was moments like that which are magical. But then obviously the rest of the team, the finishing in front of goal, it lets us all down. And it's so disappointing given what we've seen at the start of the season, how well we've done so far. And now, is it all falling apart? And that's what I want to know from you guys really. What do you really put this down to right now? What is happening with us? Are we simply under a bit of bad luck? Is it about refereeing decisions? Is it about Ernesto Valverde's team selection? Are we going to really go on in now recent weeks and get back to our very best? But like I say, it wasn't even about the performance today, because I think we were quite good. It was just the fact that you could kind of see this kind of run coming. We were winning games, but we weren't playing well. And now it's starting to go the way of not getting the results, dropping the points, just slowly slipping down that slippery slope, and we want to halt that slide. Valverde needs to do something. He needs to have some new energy in the squad. He needs to have some new ideas, and he needs to implement them very quickly, because we cannot let this get any more out of control. We need to get a grip on ourselves. We need to get a grip on the league once again, and if we need to, go back to basics, because we've started the season well. We had some good results, but today our defence was massively exposed. Ter Stegen couldn't hide that fact today like he has done for most of the season. We were very wasteful in front of goal, and we need to start rotating more, giving more trust to our entire squad, and giving everybody a fair chance. Semedo needs to be in the team. He's our right back. He is a player who's naturally there. Sergio Roberto, I'm not going to say it again, but he belongs in midfield and not at right back. We need to start getting these vital decisions right, and we need to start once again winning games, getting those points on the board, and moving once again in the right direction. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. A very, very disappointing display today. Apologies for you guys if you did get up and watch that. It was disappointing. Not a bad performance, but not the result we wanted. I'll see you soon, but until then, as always, Vesca el Barça. Barça! Barça! Barça!